You are watching the Southwestern American Choral Directors Association Connections podcast. Please like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for future content.
Hello, everyone. I'm here again for the Connections podcast for Southwestern ACDA with Christine Guter, who's our SWACDA Jazz Honor Choir conductor for this conference that's coming up just next week. So hopefully all of you have your travel plans ready and are ready to join us in Albuquerque. But first of all, Christine, can you tell us a little bit about maybe your musical upbringing, how you first got involved in vocal jazz, choral music, and then any relevant details you might want to add about, where you are and what you do in the world today?
Sure. Background, I went to a very small Catholic school when I was growing up, and my graduating class was only 99 people, very small. But I we didn't do vocal jazz, it was just choral music. And then I got my bachelor's degree in music education from Western Michigan University under the direction of Steve Zagri, and that's kind of where I found out about vocal jazz. Didn't know anything at all, and somehow made it into one of the ensembles, and from there I was just hooked. So I then taught high school, middle school choral music for a couple years, and then went to University of Miami to get my master's degree in jazz. And all along the way, I was performing and doing some recording work and singing in a rock band and all kinds of crazy things. And then after getting my master's degree, moved to Southern California, and I've been here for, since 2001. August of 2001 is when we moved here, and started working at Cal State Long Beach in January of 2002, kind of halfway through the school year. They were going through a lot of changeover, and now I'm director of vocal jazz at Cal State Long Beach Bob Cole Conservatory of Music. When I got here, there was one vocal jazz ensemble with 4 people in it and 2 jazz voice majors. And from there, we've, grown and done some really fun, cool things. So
That's awesome. Yeah, you went from Michigan and then basically sea to shining sea there. You've had some really diverse experiences, it seems like. So maybe you can talk to us about your mentors or influences in the world of music and jazz. And, you talked a little bit already about one or two, but what are some important lessons maybe you learned from them?
Oh, gosh. Steve Zagri, my very first, actually, Dwayne Davis was my first jazz teacher. I was in Gold Company 2, GC2, and he is still, to this day, a huge mentor. I still call him to talk about things and get his very wise, sassy advice. For anybody who knows Dwayne, you know what I'm talking about. So he is just paramount to me. And then I also studied with Steve Zagri, who taught me professionalism and getting things done, Then I went to Larry Lappin, and I think some of the biggest lessons I learned from him was that I'm enough, that I'm worthy. He also taught groove like nobody's business. I learned groove. And Sonny Wilkinson was a private jazz voice instructor of mine, who is still, again, very dear to me, who just was so open-hearted and wise. I think, we are all a combination of the people who have made those imprints on our lives. And gosh, I'm just so grateful for the incredibly varied experience that I've had with all of my teachers who still are teaching through me. And we add our own experiences as well, but I'm very, very grateful for my teachers, and those 4 are the big ones.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, and there's some recognizable names to me, even not being in that jazz world. So yeah, and then just the whole assimilating them into your own style and finding your own voice in that, it's very valuable. Yeah, very valuable lessons you mentioned there. Okay, what are some similarities then and some differences in directing a jazz honor choir from that maybe of a small C classical or traditional honor choir?
Well, I've never directed a traditional honor choir, so I don't know that I would have the perfect answer for that, but I can't say like differences between traditional choral and jazz. You know, a lot of people think, well, it's just jazz, you know, it's fluff, it's just for fun, you know, but it's not like serious music or quote legit, which I really love that term. Um, but I think it can be the most exciting, profoundly impactful if it's done with intention and authenticity. So to me, it's just another style under the choral umbrella or the music umbrella, really. You know, I think that vocal technique is very important, which I know a lot of directors maybe don't talk about with their vocal jazz ensembles, but because I was classically trained, um, it's really important to me because I think, you know, the better you can sing, the better you can sing, as they say.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
well said. Good singing is good singing, right?
yeah, exactly. So at its fundamental core, I believe that the technique is good technique is good technique. And it's all about the style and the placement. So we talk about, or I talk about vocal technique being important. And then of course the style is really important as well. But like singing an a cappella ballad can be done with finesse and grace and dynamics and word stress and all of those things. I mean, is this the same, I think. The musicality of it. Um, yeah, it's hard to describe, but good music is good music. And I tell my students, you know, our job is to put good into the world. Our job as musicians and artists is to be healers. So if we set that as an intention, then we're going to have a more we're going to have more impact on our audience. So it's not to be cool or look, you know, get applause or adulation, you know, that drives me crazy. No, the intention is we're putting good into the world, we're healing, whether that be through a really fun, uplifting, groovy song or whether that's through a heartfelt ballad, doesn't matter. We have to have an intention, not just overall, but for every single song that we're doing. So again, I think it's people think it's so different from choral music, but at its core, it's not. Um, you know,
Yeah, thank you
music
for that
is
answer.
jazz.
Yeah, because I was just little personal background. You know, in high school we had a little jazz ensemble, and my director was kind of well immersed in jazz, and um, we did some great things there. And then I had a little jazz ensemble when I was teaching public school, but I've been away from it for a while now. So I completely agree that you know that everything it's the same but different. You know, um, hopefully everybody knows what I mean by that. But it's you know, good music is good music, good singing is good singing, and that's what we do in choral music. And I wanted folks who are listening to maybe make that connection that we all do the same things just in different styles and genres. Um, you know, and whether it's about technique and it's about embodying the spirit of the different performance practices that we try to take on. And so yeah, I think that's well said. Well said.
Thank you. And
Tell me
hopefully
about.
the people that listen to the ensembles pick up on that, you know.
Oh, I
Hopefully
think they
that is
will.
something that is conveyed in the performance. But I'm
Yeah,
sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I think that you're absolutely right. Yeah, and I really like what you said about being healers, and I think we are. So it reminds me of Carl Palnick's address to the Boston Conservatory. If you haven't read that, it's from many years old now, but yeah, it's right up that alley. So
Mhm.
I think that we are, in a way, healers of souls. So that's great. Um, tell us more now about the repertoire selection specifically that you have for this honor choir performance. I don't have them to bring up on the screen like I usually do, but I have them on our handy ACDA conference app for SWACDA. So make sure, everybody, that you get that app downloaded to your device and bring up all of the schedule, and you can see all of the repertoire selections for each honor choir that you attend. But maybe you can talk to us a little bit about those repertoire selections and what do you look for in choosing that honor choir repertoire.
Some of my Cal State Long Beach students get on my case about this, but I like to choose like really positive message, uplifting things. And they're like, we want to sing a sad song every once in a while. But that's just me, there's enough sadness in the world.
Amen.
We're starting out with a U2 song called Beautiful Day, but it's an arrangement it's Anthony. Oh gosh,
Matt
Falker did the vocal arrangement, but it was based on an instrumental arranger by famous drummer whose name I'm blanking on right now. But yeah, so it's an adaptation of an arrangement, but that was done by Matt Falker, and then that's straight eighth note groove. A lot of little step out solos. But I thought it would make a nice opener, Beautiful Day. And then we're doing a medium swing arrangement of Love Letters. And it's written by Paris Rutherford, who used to direct UNT, vocal jazz. And it's sort of like this Neil Hefti kind of drums on brushes thing. But there's a big vocalese in it. So I'm hoping that one of the students, and this is always a risk, but we can do it without the vocalese, but I'm hoping that one of the students learned it and, will audition and be able to sing that, because it's a lot. And for those that don't know what a vocalese is, it's an instrumental solo, like maybe a saxophonist played a solo and then somebody puts lyrics to it. John Hendricks of Lambert, Hendricks and Ross was most famous for this. But I think it was one of the students at UNT who he was a sax player, and then he wrote lyrics to his own sax solo, and now it's a part of that arrangement. We are also doing You Must Believe in Spring, arranged by Phil Mattson. And again, that's a accompanied ballad, but it's rubato, and that is another uplifting song. Encouraging. It's a little bit minimalistic in that there's a lot of single line with harmony underneath. Or Phil Mattson was brilliant at writing beautiful two-part lines, the counterpoint and just how they all fit together. He was so good at that, and so that's one of the things that I really like about that song. A lot of little step out solos in that one. Then we're doing Rosanna Eckert's arrangement of Hearts Take Time. So if you've experienced pain or loss in your life, be patient. Everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to work out for your highest and greatest good. But hearts take time. And that one's like a Afro-Cuban. It goes between Afro-Cuban and swing.
Boy, that's a message we need to hear right now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I'm when I program music, I'm trying to give them as many different styles. I don't want to do 4 swingers and 1 ballad. I want them to experience, well, what's it like to sing like a funky popish vibe and a ballad, rubato ballad vibe, and the concepts of swing, medium swing, and then the concepts of like Afro-Cuban. And then our closer is Love Makes the World Go Round, which is a Darman Meter arrangement. And you probably heard the New York Voices are retiring as of this year. So they're currently on their last tour ever. Oh, so sad. But I wanted to do a New York Voices piece because of that. So this is Love Makes the World Go Round. And again, another uplifting thing. And it's like a shuffle, bluesy kind of thing. So that's our whole set.
I love it. Yeah, and I'm so glad that you kind of focus on that uplifting theme throughout your programming. Like I said, I think the world needs that right now, but also we're just looking for that whenever we go to conference and we want to hear choirs we want to feel stuff, and I think feeling good right now is something we all need. Um, so, with the short amount of rehearsal time that you'll have with the group, how much improvisation do you think will be incorporated into the performance?
So I have to be honest with you. As soon as you said with a short amount of rehearsal time, I just went inside because it's true. There's
It
never
is.
enough time.
That's right.
Uh, so how much time will I focus on improvisation?
Sure. Yeah. Like how I mean, and how do you teach that as the uninitiated myself? How do you do that?
I can't. I mean,
Okay, that's my question.
I
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
If I have time, then I will address improv. Or if I've chosen somebody who's doing a solo who kind of gets the language, then I can give like a little bit of feedback, which everybody learns from. But I cannot spend, and I'm like this with my own ensemble too. We have improv classes here. There are improv. This is a choral event, and I need to make sure that the ensemble sounds its best. Now,
Gotcha. So
maybe
that's more of a specific skill that
oh
is
yeah,
outside of the realm of possibility for the time frame.
exactly. Because I'm picky. I'm so picky with the music that I won't get it to my sonic model if I spend too much time like giving soloist feedback. And there are a lot of written out like text solos as well as a few places for improvisation. But ultimately, again, as a choral festival, and I know this is the inaugural, yay, all Southwest Honor Jazz Choir. Um, I want to make sure that the group sounds good and the students have a good experience and everybody is engaged most of the time. So keeping that in mind, most of the time I'm going to spend making sure that the lit itself is that it's learned, that it's memorized, that everybody feels solid. But not only that, because I always say once you know the notes and rhythms, most people think, cool, it's learned, let's perform it. That's a starting place. You know your notes and rhythms? Great. Now we can start. Now we can begin to make music. Now we can talk about groove. Now we can, hey, who's going to solo? And do they need any feedback or can I give them feedback that will be of benefit to everybody, that's quick and direct and succinct and because there's just so much to get done, you know. But yeah, I mean, I almost feel guilty saying that I don't spend a lot of time on improv in a group like this, but there's just no time.
No, no, that's very informative to me. And I love what you said also about notes and rhythms. That's kind of like baseline. That's what I tell my ensembles too. And
Nice.
traditional choral ensembles. It's like, we can't start the music because that's not the music. That's just the building blocks before we get to the music, right?
That's exa Check it out. You just said exactly what I said. I'm like, guys, this is not music. This
That's
is
right.
not, you know,
That's right.
this
That's
piece
right.
of
That's
paper
awesome.
with all the balls and sticks on it, that's not music.
Yeah, those are just blots on the page. That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I also love harkening back to what you said earlier. You mentioned Lambert Henderson Ross, and that's kind of my first initiation into vocal jazz. With them and the real group back in the day. And I think you have to because again, I'm no jazzer, so they started with vocalizing bassy tunes. Is that right? Okay, great. I got something right. That's awesome. Okay, I feel that's a win for me. Okay. Um, in that first rehearsal, then, what can the Jazz Honor Choir singers expect from you that will get them to lock in, as the kids say these days, to groove?
Lock in and slay.
Yeah, lock in and slay.
Yeah. In the very first rehearsal, I really try to limit myself, and I know this goes against everything your music education professors tell you, but I get obsessed and can sometimes spend an hour on one tune. An hour. But that's because I'm like, oh, try this, do this, and I know I get in the weeds sometimes. But usually in the first rehearsal, I try to limit myself, actually throughout, if I'm doing all state with high schoolers, I try to limit myself to no more than 30 minutes on a song and then I cycle. 30 minutes on a song and then I cycle. And dependent, just to kind of see where they're at, usually I'll say, okay, let's sing all the way through this. See. And if it's in a pretty good shape, cool. I'll dig in and we can get going. If it's not in good shape, then I will see if I will guess that the other music might be a little rough too. Sometimes I'll ask if we can do sectionals because I mean, we got to get it, quote, learned fast in order to get it so that not just so that we can get into the details of it, but also so that they feel confident. Because if they don't feel confident when they get up to perform, especially when it's one on a mic and they're so exposed, if they don't look and feel confident when they're performing, nobody's buying what they're selling. And if we're not authentic in the delivery, then what are we even doing? So getting down to business right from the get-go. Like I'll have them sing through every single piece. I'll see where everything's at, and then they'll dig in. Okay, let's spend 30 minutes on this, and I'll get to the most important parts. But I have to have my musical priorities in order. So maybe the cutoff precision, which is a thing, if they're not cutting off on the and of 3 in bar 17, I can let that go. I need to make sure that like the crunchy chords are tuning, that the macro dynamics are in place. And if that's happening, then maybe I can get to some micro dynamics within a phrase. Hopefully we can talk about swing feel and what is an authentic swing feel and how do we produce it? How do you even do it? Because just because a song it says swing and we're singing triplet subdivisions, that doesn't mean it's swinging. Because a lot of swing doesn't swing anymore. So can I teach them a little bit about that? Or what's an authentic samba groove? Or, But sorry, you asked about the first rehearsal. I have my layers and my levels and my priorities, I guess. But the intonation is important to me. If it's not in tune, I can't even listen to it most of the time. So
Yeah.
we do a
Yep.
lot of chords. Hmm.
Well, everything you've said, just like I said, for those that are not jazzers, not in the jazz world as much, vocal jazz, this is just music. This is just choral music, you
Yeah.
know, and it's all the same. It's just we approach the styles a little differently, but it's the same. It's the same process. It's the same terracing of skills and all of that. So that's great to hear,
It
and
is. And
great
I
to hear.
just want to piggyback that and just say, like, if don't be afraid to do it, choral music educators who are out there
You're coming
listening.
into my next question here. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So, what advice would you give choir directors who want to start building a jazz ensemble into their existing program and curriculum?
Just do it. Just start
There
with
you go.
something. Just,
Hmm.
I mean, that's the hardest part about any journey is the starting, taking the first step. So maybe you don't have a jazz choir yet. Great. Take each one of your ensembles and give them a jazz piece. And it doesn't matter if there's 80 people in it. Just try a thing. If you don't have a rhythm section, fine. Do it with a piano player. Just start, just try it. And then if you like it, I mean, and apply all the same musical concepts that you use with choral music. I mean, there are some things, but if you just start it and then ask somebody who does it to come in and give a clinic to your group or attend a jazz festival, but maybe if you're not up to like performing yet, just bring your kids to a vocal jazz festival. And then you can watch all the clinics and you can hear what the clinicians are saying and you can see what the other groups are doing. But I learned so much of what I learned was from taking my groups to vocal jazz festivals and getting feedback from awesome clinicians. And that's how I learned where to find the best repertoire too. And still to this day, I'll go to a vocal jazz festival and I'll just have a little notepad where I'm writing down all the cool arrangements that I like or that might work, or ooh, this would make a good all-state thing, or ooh, I could do this with my second ensemble or something. Um, but yeah, just start, just do it. Call me. I tell people that all the time. If you don't know where to start, send me an email, call me. I am more than happy to talk to you about how to get started and give you any resources that you need.
That's great advice. Yeah, really great advice. Okay, so before we sign off, give us one or two vocal jazz record listening assignments for this weekend before we head off to SWACDA in Albuquerque.
Ooh, vocal jazz listening assignments. Um, if we're talking ensembles, New York Voices Hearts of Fire is a great album, and it's New York Voices. And then the next thing that came into my head is Take Six. Any Take Six at all. So good. If you're wanting the a cappella vibe. They're so good.
I love it. I love it. Well, thanks again so much for joining me today for this short little interview. Where can people go online to learn more about you, your work, or to get in touch?
You can find me on Instagram, on social media, also the Cal State Long Beach website, my faculty page. It's a great way to find me and email me. All the information is up there.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for joining me and carving out a little time to talk to me. And I know we were, kind of having some scheduling issues and trying to get together for this meeting, but I'm so glad we did. I'm so glad that we were, able to meet virtually. Hopefully we can meet in person. And I'm really excited about hearing the vocal jazz honor choir at SWACDA in Albuquerque.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely.